I happened to be at home one evening, had the television on. I think I was probably procrastinating from studying for something important, and I was flipping through the channels, and I just happened to catch the opening credits, and it was called Attenborough in Paradise. I saw some vaguely tropical-looking background, and for that next hour, I just kept slowly creeping closer and closer to the television. It got dark while I was sitting there. The room was lit by the blue glow of the television. This was the very first time that anybody had ever done a documentary film with more than one species of birds of paradise. I remember sitting there watching this and just thinking, how in the world can those birds exist? And I said, that's it. I don't know if I'll do anything with my life, but if I do one thing, I want to find a way to go to New Guinea and at least see a bird of paradise. My name is Ed Scholes. I live in Ithaca, New York. I work at the Cornell lab of ornithology, and my job is a two-part job. I'm a scientist and biologist, as well as a curator of a biodiversity video collection in the Macaulay Library. I was always a very outdoorsy child. I mean, I lived in very suburban areas. I was one of those kids who would always find the wooded lot nearby, ride my bicycle around for hours to get away from the houses and go exploring some little patch of woods. And I think it was that desire to explore even the small patches of wilderness around me that kind of led to this passion for formalizing it once I was given the opportunity to. I am a comparative biologist. I make sense of biological diversity by studying the similarities and differences among organisms, both closely related and more distant. It was that drive to feel like I couldn't understand the evolution of any one of the birds of paradise unless I had seen them all. It was sort of like looking at a mosaic of tiles, and if you were to just look at a handful of those tiles, you wouldn't really see the big picture. And so I had to see all the tiles to be able to step back and understand what this evolutionary mosaic is about. One of the most influential things in my past was in high school. This was in Texas. I had a really amazing biology teacher. He actually took us outside for a lot of field trips. We were at a wildlife reserve, and we went out with a master student who was radio tracking raccoons. I remember later having this kind of epiphany. Is it really true that you can go to school and study raccoons and their behavior and track them with radio collars? I think I knew that kind of thing existed, but I had never really realized that that was something you could go to school for. It takes a lot of personal commitment and dedication to do this kind of work. It's not easy to leave from home in Ithaca, New York, and say bye to my friends and family and travel to about as far away on the globe as you can get from where I live and spend a month or more there. But I think this is true for me and for Tim. We do it because we're just extremely fascinated with the amazing things and the amazing component of global biodiversity that the birds of paradise represent. In 2001, when I was in a remote mountain range on the northern part of Papua New Guinea, I remember going up to this big tree stump, and a log had fallen across this little ravine. And there on that log was the male superb bird of paradise. It's the first time I'd ever seen one anywhere but high up in the trees. And I realized that's probably his display site. And he was vocalizing, and he was turning, and he was looking up, and it was really clear to me that there was a female around. And all of a sudden, he starts going into his display, and a female comes down. And this was the first time I had ever seen the display of a superb bird of paradise, and years before anybody else had ever filmed it. And I think even to this day, if you were to listen really closely to the original recording with headphones on, I think you can hear me mouthing something like, "Oh my God." That moment of seeing that for the first time definitely has never left me.